Hi and welcome back to my channel. Welcome for all those of you that have already subscribed. Welcome for all those of you that are stopping for the first time. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can subscribe to hear my testimonies and some encouragement. May the Lord bless and keep you. So as I said, I will be giving a testimony today to talk about something that happened to me some time, like years ago. I almost died. Is if I'm still there, it's only the grace of God. So that's why I like to praise the Lord. I like to say thank you, Jesus, and I'm just there to work and do all what the Lord is asking me to do. So to God be the glory. As I said, I will be giving a testimony today of what the Lord did for me some times ago, some years ago. I was At that time I was around 26 years old. So I will just give that testimony to show you how God can be good to us without we even knowing sometimes what He has done for us. So keep on listening. So at the age of 26, I saw on that time I had 25 years, and I saw three of my cousins had the babies, had the children, and my last cousin had a baby boy, and I liked so much that little boy. So I said to myself, oh my God, I want to have my own child. So at that time I was with someone, and I decided to, like, I want to get pregnant. And after I think a year or two, I got pregnant, and but it didn't went well for me. So to God be the glory. If I'm alive today, is only the grace of God. So at the age of 25, I got pregnant, and I didn't know if I was really pregnant at that time, because I will explain to you. Because I realized that with my son, when I got pregnant, I stayed having my period around 3 months. It wasn't that normal, but like to me, I was not pregnant. So I think that what happened when I wanted to have a baby, I got pregnant, but when I made that pregnancy test, I saw like I was not pregnant. And after a while, like days after, I saw like it changed. So it was just confusing. So one day, I thought, at that time, I thought I had like 4 months pregnant. I was pregnant for 4 months, but it seems like I was wrong about it, because I didn't know that's how I was. Like, you can be pregnant, some people can be pregnant and not even knowing like if they are truly pregnant. So at 4 months of pregnancy, I had a miscarriage. I thought at that time I was like 4 months pregnant, but maybe it was a little more. So that night, like, I did some work that wasn't really good for me to do, because I had people to do it for me. That my boyfriend I had at that time asked them to help me to do some work for me. Like, we didn't have water at home, and they had to carry water to fill a big container for me, so that I wouldn't have to go to carry the water and lots of things, because when we are living some areas, like, we don't really have water at that time. Now everything has changed, and some people to clean around for me, but they didn't do it. They didn't show up. They never showed up. So I went and do it all alone, and I spent the whole day just weeding and cleaning and pulling grass and doing all sorts of things, carrying water. And so during the night, that's when I started feeling some pain and I went at the hospital, and maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours, I had a miscarriage. I don't know if it was really a miscarriage or I gave birth to a premature baby, because the way I saw that child was not a 4 months baby. The child was well developed, everything, hair, like he had so much hair on his head. Everything was in place. I saw it was a boy. I saw everything, but at first they didn't want me to see the baby. I told the nurse, like, I want to see the child. I want to see. But that day when I got to the hospital, the doctor that received me, like, she was a bit strange. Like, she was talking to me a kind of way I couldn't understand why. So she asked me lots of questions. I answered her, and she sent me into that room. After I entered that room, maybe 30 minutes after, I started throwing up. And that's when I felt like the baby wanted to come out. So I pressed on that button, and when the nurse came in and she saw everything, like she cleaned up, and she told me what I was supposed to do. And that's when I saw, like, I told her I wanted to see the child, but she said no. They have some people, when they watch the baby like that, afterwards it will be difficult for you. Or, well, I say, well, it doesn't matter, I just want to see. As I said earlier on, the child was like a 8 months child, or a normal child, like 9 months. Like the baby was so well developed and everything, like I couldn't believe. So I said maybe that child have around 6 or 7 months. But I didn't, like, when you have a miscarriage like that, like you wanted to have that baby, the only thing you can do is cry. So that's how it went for me. And afterwards, the next day they send me into, like, the surgery room where they will clean me up. But as I'm explaining to you, I never passed, like, the placenta of the baby, the bag that the baby does be in. It never came out. But the next day they send me into that room where they would, like, do I think, how do you call that, echography? I don't know how do you call that in English. Like, they will watch, like, to put the machine on you to see inside you what is going on. I don't know if what they did, because they put me to sleep and everything like that. After a while, they bring me back. I went back to my room, and the next day they sent me home. When I arrived at home, the phone that day, someone called me on the phone at my grandmother's home. It was the doctor. I never gave her my grandmother's telephone number. So she said to me, so you called me earlier on and whatever. I said, how can I call you? Like, I call her on her beeper. I said, but I don't even have your number. I don't know anything about you. How can I call you? So she talked to me a while, but she didn't tell me anything. How was I feeling and everything like that. She didn't tell me maybe you had twins or whatever. Nothing about that. Nothing. Then she never told me, like, you still have the baby bag in. Nothing. They sent me home, and I stayed bleeding from the day I went to the hospital until 9 days at home. For 9 days at home, I continued bleeding very heavily, and everyone was saying to me, but how can, like, you had a miscarriage and you look still like someone that is still pregnant, and your stomach is so big and everything like that. But I couldn't understand. So one day, the 9 days after, excuse me, 9 days after, my mother said to me, I think that there is something wrong. And that day I had so much pain and I went to the toilet. But as I said, we didn't have water and we didn't have our toilet inside the bathroom and things like that. We had a toilet, but it was outside, apart from the house. And how they're doing it in the local countries, like they will just dig a deep hole, and like they will be putting a little house on it, and people will be going in that area whenever you want to do that type of so okay. So when I felt I had that pain, so I went to the toilet outside, and that's when I felt something just came out of me and just fell, and I heard one loud noise in that toilet, and there was no way to see what was going on. I said, oh my God, maybe I was still pregnant. So what happened? Something fell in the toilet, and what is that? There is no way for me to look and see what was that thing. So I started bleeding and so on. And I said to my mother, you know what happened? I went to the toilet and I heard a loud noise, and I don't know what fell in that toilet. I don't know anything about that. The doctors never told me that I had another baby inside me or whatever. I don't know what happened. But if I want to go to the toilet to do anything, I will not go outside, but I will just stay to urinate. I will use something inside to do whatever I have to do. And that's when I collect lots of things and I just bring it to the. I said I was so scared I didn't know anything about it. My mother said, Vicky, but there is something going on. For how many days you have been bleeding like that? There is something wrong. Watch you, but it's not normal. So she rushed me back to the hospital, and they just bring me in and start taking care of me, looking for my blood type and everything like that. Like I was almost dead. So until now, no one never explained to me what happened that day. If I was still pregnant, or if what maybe they left that bag in me, the placenta, the baby bag in me. I don't know. No one never explained to me. But what was so strange, when I went back to that hospital that second time after 9 days staying home, like my name was nowhere to be found. Like I came in that hospital that night and I had a miscarriage. So no explanation. The second time when I went to that hospital, my mother told me afterwards, Vicky, I don't know, but I was so scared because they went inside with you and no one never come and tell me anything. They stayed so long with you. I don't know what was going on, but I was so scared because I said maybe they will come and tell me something like I'm not expecting to hear. I don't want to hear. So after what I saw, like I was dead or almost dying. I couldn't see anything around me, just white, like I was somewhere like in the cloud, and there was like smoke. I couldn't see anything around me. I only white, and I saw a light, like it was a door open, and I could saw just like a small not that bright, but I could see that there was light. So I was saying only one person that can bring, there is only one person that can make me come back. But I could not remember the name of that person. It was my boyfriend at that time. I couldn't remember his name. Like I was so far, I didn't know anyone. I was trying to say his name, but I couldn't remember his name. And I was saying, you alone can bring me back. Only one person can make me come back. Only one person can make me come back. And I stayed a while. And I heard the nurses, like there were two of them, and they were talking, oh, she's so pretty, she, like, they was talking like something was wrong with me. She's so young and everything like that, but I could, like, they were so far, but they was so close to me. And I started like coming, trying to come back, and they say, oh, she's coming back, she's coming back. And like they were so happy, they were so happy, they were so happy. And I said like I was thirsty. And after a while they brought me into a room, and my mother was there. And that's when I remember the name of that person I wanted to call. And I started crying, not knowing what. I didn't know why I was crying. I didn't know why I was crying, but I was just crying like I was gone, or like I came back to life, and I was just crying like I was happy. I was happy to be back. So the next day when another doctor passed in my room, like he had other people with him, that nurses they were like training them to become nurse or whatever, but young people. And he would be passing and say whatever, that one had a miscarriage, or that one had an abortion, and that one have that. And when he came close to me, he said like I had an abortion. I said, but what is he talking about? What is he talking about? So like he didn't know, like I came there a few days ago and I had a miscarriage, but because I came there with that problem the second time, like he said I made an abortion. So I asked him, why are you saying that? I had a miscarriage and I came to the hospital and whatever. So I told him, at what, like if someone is pregnant, at what age, at when, like how many months you must be pregnant for the child to have hair and be well developed like that. And everything was in place about how I had a miscarriage, and I thought I was 4 months pregnant. And he didn't answer me. He just pretended like he didn't hear what I was asking him. So I said, well, I didn't stay on that. I went home, and that night I had a dream. I saw three dogs running after me, and I was running, and I climbed up a wall, and I just jumped on the other side, and they couldn't reach me. They didn't attack me or bite me or whatever they wanted to do. They didn't have the time to do. I don't know, but that wall was so tall, but I just jumped and I climbed the wall and I jumped over. So after a while, I saw an angel standing in front of me with her arms wide open, and he said to me, everything will be okay. You will not die. Everything is okay now. You will live, and you have work to do for the Lord. You have work to do, and everything will be okay. And I woke up. And that's how it went for me when I had that miscarriage. I wanted that baby because like I wanted my own at that time. So that's how it went. If I'm alive today, it's only the grace of God. Only the grace of God. Because how can it be like if I had a miscarriage or I had twins? People of God, I don't know why people are so wicked. The nurse or the doctor never told me anything about my pregnancy. Like you had twins, like you have another one inside of you, whatever. They sent me home, and I did. In what condition I don't know. I didn't know. But I stayed. That's why I say I stayed nine days with that baby bag inside of me, like the placenta of the baby inside of me for 9 days. And I know when people give birth or miscarriage, the first thing they try to do is to make that thing come out of the person. They cannot send you home with that thing inside of you. So that's why I say I cannot understand. They never told me anything. And the name of the doctor, like I never came to that hospital the day that I had the miscarriage. Like I never came there before. So I don't know what happened, as I said. No explanation, nothing. The second time I came, everything is registered. But the first time I had nothing. So what happened a few years after, I don't know if maybe some other things happened, like I didn't have any information, but one I knew, the same area with me, had a miscarriage or an abortion, and that same doctor sent her home in a very bad condition, and like 5 or 4 days after, she died. So after they saw that that doctor was doing so much error like that, they had to send her away. She was not from St. Lucia. She was from another country. But she came there and she was just doing that nasty work with the young people. I don't know why. I don't know why. So someone that knew us, we talked to her about that because she used to work in the hospital, and she told me, like, that baby, I said, like, it had hair and well developed like that. Did they ask you any money to bury him? I said, no, they never talked to me about that child. They never told me anything about it. She said, I know about that. When people have miscarriage and like the child is around 3-4 months, they will ask you $500 or $300, I cannot well remember, to bury that child or to burn the body, whatever they will do with it. So I said, oh, I didn't know nothing about that. She said, yes. Why didn't they ask you anything? Why didn't they ask you money to do that? And she said, people are so wicked. I don't know what they did with that child or how they buried it or whatever, but they never told me nothing about that. I think they saw like they made a mistake and like to kill everything, like to hide what they did. Like they just sent me home fast, quick, and everything was okay. To show you that there was something wrong, how can you say that I call you on your pager or beeper, whatever how they call it? I didn't have her number. I couldn't get in contact with her or call her personally. No, I didn't even really know. I didn't know her name at that time. So that's what happened. If I'm alive today is by the grace of God. If I am still there singing or giving my testimony, I will continue to give my testimony, because if I'm alive today is only the grace and the love, the mercy of God upon my life, people of God. So that's why I will be ending my testimony for today. To God be the glory. Be blessed. If you haven't yet subscribed to listen to more testimony or word of encouragement or some of the devilish attacks I have on my life, you can subscribe and let the glory of God be upon you. Let the blessings of the Lord be upon you, and we are working together for the glory of God. So you can share, you can like, you can comment, and to God be the glory. Until next time, bye bye.